After losing to Johnny Depp, Amber Heard seeks a new defamation trial. In their appeal, Ms. Heard's attorneys contend that the trial was conducted in the incorrect jurisdiction, and that the judge erred in banning evidence that they allege supports her allegations of domestic abuse. Johnny Depp has started evaluating the state of his public image months after winning a defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard, who accused him of abusing her physically and sexually. He has participated in a fashion show supported by Rihanna, and an awards show where he cracked jokes about his failed career. But the legal conflict is still going on in a Virginia appeals court. In an attempt to reverse a jury's finding that Ms. Heard had slandered Mr. Depp, her ex-husband, in 2018 by referring to herself as a public figure symbolizing domestic abuse in a Washington Post opinion piece, Ms. Heard's attorneys filed an appeal this week. Mr. Depp, who wasn't identified in the essay, received a damage award of more than $10 million. Factually correct statements cannot be deemed to be defamatory. Therefore, even though the case in theory rested on assertions made by Ms. Heard in her essay, the trial largely focused on whether or not her claims that Mr. Depp had repeatedly punched, headbutted, and sexually assaulted her were accurate. Ms. Heard's allegations were vigorously refuted by Mr. Depp, who asserted during the trial that she had been the aggressor in their relationship. Ms. Heard's attorneys raised a number of legal issues in their 68-page appeal, including the fact that the trial was held in the incorrect state, and the judge's decision to omit some pieces of evidence, such as contemporaneous notes from therapists that they claim document allegations of abuse. They demanded that the jury's decision be overturned, either by dismissing Mr. Depp's claims or by conducting a brand new trial. The attorneys claimed that the trial court erroneously precluded the jury from taking into account numerous different times in which Heard reported Depp's abuse to a medical expert. The jury awarded Ms. Heard $2 million in damages, agreeing that a lawyer for Mr. Depp defamed her in comments to a newspaper. Mr. Depp's legal team has appealed part of the ruling, but otherwise declared victory. The 3 defamatory remarks that were the subject of the jury's emphatic favorable finding, according to Mr. Depp's attorneys, completely vindicated Mr. Depp and restored his reputation, they claimed in a court document that was sent to the Virginia Court of Appeals this fall. After Ms. Heard's essay was published, a manager for Mr. Depp testified that it was impossible to cast his client in a studio film, and Mr. Depp claimed that after it became known that Ms. Heard had filed for a temporary restraining order after accusing him of assaulting her, his professional chances were severely damaged. Ms. Heard's attorneys maintained that additional factors, such as unprofessional behavior noted by his former agency, such as arriving late to sets and having trouble with lines, contributed to his career difficulties. The courthouse was packed with Mr. Depp's supporters throughout the trial. There are signs that he is once again being embraced by some in the entertainment industry now. 6 months later, he made a cameo appearance in Rihanna's Savage X Fenty lingerie line last month, where he strutted for the camera in loungewear with dancers flanking him. At the MTV Video Music Awards, he humorously offered his services for weddings and bar mitzvahs, saying, "I needed the work," with his face digitally grafted onto the torso of the network's Moon Man mascot. The fact that Johnny Depp is returning is quite obvious, according to public relations professional Evan Neerman. He claimed that even if Ms. Heard wins her appeal, the public has already moved on. Although Depp has long been a sought-after leading man, it is still unclear whether major Hollywood studios will be prepared to support him. In addition to his 5 Pirates of the Caribbean films in which he played the lead role of Jack Sparrow, he was nominated for Oscars for Sweeney Todd and Finding Neverland. Currently, Mr. Depp, 59, is involved in at least 2 motion pictures, a feature on the Italian artist Amedeo Modigliani that he plans to direct, as well as a French historical drama by director Mon in which he plays King Louis XV. Despite the fact that Al Pacino and Barry Navidi are involved in producing the Modigliani movie, neither project seems to have support from a major American studio. Ms. Heard, who is well known for her roles in movies like Aquaman and Pineapple Express, has largely withdrew from the public eye since the trial, during which she faced harsh online criticism. She described the mockery of her testimony as agonizing at one point, and claimed to have had thousands of death threats. Additionally, the actress is battling an insurance provider in court about whether the verdict in the defamation lawsuit is protected by her coverage. An open letter denouncing a monetized social media environment where a woman's allegations of domestic violence and sexual assault were mocked for entertainment was signed by a number of women's and domestic violence organizations, as well as academics, activists, and attorneys, a week before Ms. Heard, 36, filed her appeal. Actress Constance Wu, director Amy Ziering, and feminist leader Gloria Steinem all signed the petition. The open letter's signatory, sociologist Nicole Badura, who researches sexual assault, referred to Mr. Depp's return to the mainstream film industry as disgusting, incredibly disappointing, but ultimately predictable. In our society, we're quite quick to fix it by granting additional possibilities, she said. When we think a man has been harmed and has not had the opportunities we believe he was entitled to, the lower court's decision to allow the lawsuit to be heard in Virginia based on an assertion made by Mr. Depp's attorneys that the Washington Post's computer servers reside there was criticized by Ms. Heard in her appeal. In order for Ms. Heard to summon live witnesses, Ms. Heard's attorneys argued that the case should be transferred to California, where both actors resided. In addition, Ms. Heard's appeal questioned Judge Penny Ascarrett's decision to allow the defamation case to go forward at all after a British judge in a different case had ruled there was proof Mr. Depp had attacked Ms. Heard numerous times. That libel case, which Mr. Depp had brought after The Sun, a British tabloid daily, referred to him as a wife abuser, was unsuccessful. According to Ms. Heard's attorneys, evidence in the British case that was improperly withheld from Virginia jurors included records from a psychologist from 2015 about an altercation in which Ms. Heard claimed Mr. Depp started the physicality, pushed her down, as well as reports to a nurse of physical violence. The testimony was rejected by Judge Ascarrett as hearsay. If the trial court's decision to exclude contemporaneous reports of domestic violence to medical professionals is upheld, additional abuse victims may have a harder time proving their claims of abuse, and probably discourage people from speaking up, Ms. Heard's attorneys stated. According to Mr. Depp's appeal, Ms. Heard's success on one of her countersuit's 3 claims shouldn't stand since Mr. Depp was not accountable for remarks made at the time by his attorney. The couple's attorney, Adam Waldman, accused Ms. Heard of causing damage to the couple's penthouse and attributing it to Mr. Depp in statements to the Daily Mail. It makes little sense for clients to be held liable for their attorney's tortious behavior if clients cannot control the specifics of their attorney's work, current legal counsel for Mr. Depp wrote. Both appeals will be decided by a panel of judges, and either party may then attempt to resurrect its arguments before the Virginia Supreme Court.